Welcome to AAUW Conversation and Connection. I'm Sharon Watson-Hamilton, and we're here to talk for about a half hour about Auburn's AAUW. AAUW stands for American Association of University Women. We're a nonprofit organization promoting equity and education for all, especially young women and reentry women. Let's see, I want to start. This show is a way to reach the community of Auburn and all of you who might not know about us or who do know about us, and we'll talk about something that you haven't heard. One of our endeavors is re-entry people into Sierra College and scholarships for high school women, and our Tech Trek program, which is another lovely program for young ladies between 7th and 8th grade. I love that program. I'll just do a little sidebar here. We help, I think we sponsor about 10 young women to go to a campus, a university campus. We either have, we've done Stanford in the past, we've done UC Davis. I think we're doing Santa Cruz this year. I'm not sure. There's a number of campuses, and they're wonderful. And the girls have to leave their phones alone for 1 week. I think that's just outstanding. It makes me smile. So I hope they do a good job. Anyway, part of what we do in the community is to promote that. One of our biggest fundraisers, and probably what we're most known for, is our Trivia Bee. Before I talk about that, and we are going to talk about that with my guest today, but I have a huge correction. I don't know how many people watch this or how many watch it all the way through, but the end of last show, I said that the Super Bowl next year was going to be at Candlestick. How many caught that that's way wrong? Because we've been at Levi Stadium, the 49ers being we, since about 10 years now. So I really went back in time on that one, and I apologize. I do know it's Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. But that's an exciting sidebar. If y'all know, I'm a football nut, and especially the Niner nut. That's another sidebar note today. I'm very sad. They got rid of the juice, Carl Juszczyk. They let him go, and he was a veteran player, and I'm very sad. I thought he was one of the most dynamic and inclusive players that we had. But anyway, life goes on. Football players get beat up. I get that, but I just was saddened by that. It's funny how the rain, tragedies, but I'm saddened by somebody playing football. There's no getting over me. Anyway, I have a special guest today. She's part of AAUW. I'd like to introduce Diane Fishburn. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. It's always fun to talk to different members and all that, which brings me to my first little discussion. Let's hear about your journey, how you got to where you are today, what you've done in the past, well, not everything, but, a capsule version, and, how you got involved in AAUW. Let's start with that.
All right. Well, I moved up to this area, into the Auburn area in 2011.
Okay.
And at that time, I was still a practicing attorney in Sacramento. Okay. But one of the first things I did after moving here was join the Auburn AAUW.
Had you been a member of one, or you just found us?
I had never been a member, but I had good thoughts and feelings about AAUW because my grandmother, Jean Stoddard Rodner, was president of her local branch in the 1950s in Merced, California.
Is that right?
She was a proud graduate of Stanford.
Oh.
And so she was a very avid member,
Okay.
became president, and then when I worked in Sacramento, I was very aware of AAUW's California's involvement.
Oh, that's right.
On policy, and I always identified with their positions on policies in favor of women and girls.
Okay.
So I found it a great opportunity, and what a dynamic, wonderful group the Auburn AAUW is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you found us. Sometimes it's a little hard to find us, so
I found you right away.
Oh, good. Our website's working then. And 2011, so that's almost 15 years. I mean, not quite, 13, 14. But that's cool. So, and a practicing now. Are you retired now?
Yeah, so I retired in 2017 from the practice of law.
Okay.
After a 35-year career.
Wow. Okay.
And very happy to retire, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been involved in a lot of other activities here. But
Yeah.
AAUW has always been very special to me.
That's nice. We celebrated our 75 years last year. That was kind of fun too. So, well, that's very, very neat. I know you're a busy lady, but before we go off into other busy land, let's talk about the Trivia Bee coming up. It is Saturday, the 29th of March, so it's only 2 weeks away, a little over 2 weeks away. By the time you see the show, it'll probably be 2 weeks away. Which I am going to go back and thank Phil and Auburn Community Television. That's what this is all about and gets us out there. And I don't always thank him because he's bashful, but I did this time. So anyway, the Trivia Bee is one of our major fundraisers. This is our 12th year, but we started in 2011. And so I know one fact about you. 2011, you actually had a Trivia Bee team, right?
Yes, I participated. I've participated in Trivia Bee from the beginning. It's a wonderful event. So much fun.
Right.
And I've had teams
Yeah.
every year, except last year I was in Scotland, so I missed Trivia Bee. But before that, I'd always been in Trivia Bee and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a great evening. It's a great evening for the community to come together,
Yeah.
and it's just a lot of fun.
And for those of you who don't know the Trivia Bee, and it's coming up, so we really want to push it. If you hear this, get out there and join us. It's we get 20 teams is always our goal. We may not always get them, but I've got room for 2 more. So if you're out there, they're teams of 3 people, and they play like a Jeopardy game, but you play it silently. Nobody's going to know your answer, and you play it as a team. So you're writing your answer down as they play the Jeopardy theme song, and your timing, and then you have to put your pen down, and it's scored. And Diane, I know you won one year. Your team won.
We won in 2019, and it was so much fun. My team included my daughter's best friend.
Okay.
And they are still talking about having won in 2019. It was a real high point for all of us to win.
It really, it's our event, so yeah, we are biased, but it really is a fun night. It's a fun night. It brings a lot of the community together. We have, I'm just going to promote a few things. Old Town Pizza has had teams. The supervisors usually get Placer United. We've had the Holmes brothers, and hopefully they'll be there again this year. They're like you. They've kind of been there from the beginning. I think they've hit every bee. And they won one year too. So it brings a lot of civic people as well as the people from the bowling alley or just friends that want to get together. And people get a little afraid because there's a theme involved. Your theme that you won was food and grog. Well, you can't. What does that mean? Right? So you just have to go in it with a light heart and do your best. So this year's theme, sports, of course, and I think that's why I got a little more involved than I probably should, just because I love sports, and I think it's just going to be quite fun. But the first one too, 2012. Was Flora, Fauna, and Fools. I remember that. That's what we had. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard sometimes.
Yeah.
The questions. And what's fun too is that even if you're not on a team, you can play along at your table.
Yeah.
And a lot of people really enjoy doing that.
Yeah, and we try to give you papers and pens, and so you can do that. We just ask that everybody be quiet. We don't like that back of the room yelling out the answer, but that's part of the deal too. You just you can't kick your crowd out. So and it includes a lovely dinner. We used to have Laura Kenny a few times. This time it's Sierra Grill, and it's more of a sports themed menu, if you will. I think it's going to be so fun. Anyway, so put on your jerseys. Come on out. So teams are 3 people. Each person pays $100. So it's a $300 buy-in to be on a team. But that does include your dinners and a free drink ticket. And then as a guest, that's what we call the people that are not as a guest, it's $50 to come and have a nice dinner and root on your team. And You can buy at the door, especially if you just want to. It's $55 at the door if you're a guest. We may have an ad hoc team this year. We've got a couple folks. We're trying to get that third person for them, and if we can't, we'll draw from the audience, and we will pay for them, and let them be on the team to make it all good. So anyway, it should be fun. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Again, March 29th, it's up at the First Congregational Church. A long time ago, we used to have it at ARD Regional Park, and now we're up at the church at the Grand Hall. And so, like I said, come on and join us. It'll certainly be not an unworthy evening. It'll be very fun. So, Diane, I usually, we talked about you winning the B, and the B being really an important part of this discussion. However, I know you're a very busy woman. I know you have a lot of passions. And so I think I'm going to ask it this way. I want to know your other top 3 passions. Think about that a minute. I'm putting her on the spot right away. Your top 3 passions, and let's talk about those, because it's engaging. Part of what I want in this show is not only to get the word out about AAUW, but get out how great our community is and other places people can get involved. So, top 3 passions.
All right, I'm ready for you.
Okay, good girl.
My number 1 passion actually relates back to the Trivia Bee, because with the Trivia Bee, we're raising money for scholarships and Tech Trek for young women in our community, and I'm very passionate about that. And I've been on the scholarship committee for AAUW for the last several years. And the hardest thing about being on the committee is that so many of the girls are so wonderful. We want to give money to all of them, obviously, but we only can give so much.
Right.
But that is really amazing and really is inspiring, I think, to all of us to see the wonderful young women coming from our community.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always impressed. We have this fog about young people sometimes, and then they're so phenomenal. Girls, boys, everybody. I'm truly impressed by the young minds. Mm-hmm. And you hear about how our education is this, that, and the other thing, or you hear the negativities, and certainly every generation has a little component of that. But I find young people so helpful. I find young people very well, they're helpful because I don't know technology and they know everything about technology. And then to have them write and put in for scholarships, I think is just marvelous. And like you said, we'd love to have every event we do a total success so we can send every girl that applies.
Yeah. And we were able to, this year, we've substantially increased the amount of money we're going to give for scholarships.
Oh, I think that's great.
So very excited about that.
Okay, that's passion 1.
That's passion 1. Now, passions 2 and 3 are related for me because they're very closely related. One is local history, mm-hmm. and the other is genealogy.
Oh, they are related.
So I've been an avid genealogist since I was in high school. And I'm currently on the board of the Placer County Genealogical Society.
You are, Diane? I did not know that.
Yes, I am. I'm the secretary on the board, and I help plan programs.
Oh.
So I really enjoy genealogy. I always have. And because I think genealogy is just a part of people knowing where they come from, what their identity is. It's a part of being cognizant of history
and where we are now.
Mm-hmm. And so I naturally am attracted also to local history. I'm a 4th generation Californian, which makes my grandchildren 6th generation Californians.
Love it.
So I've really enjoyed researching my own family history and getting involved, but I really enjoy the local history, particularly discovering the local history that relates to incredible women that have been part of our history from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, those are, I guess I would say, are my 3 passions.
As part of the third, let's go back to the genealogy again. How often do they meet?
Well, the Genealogy Society has a general meeting once a month.
Once a month, okay.
On the 4th Thursday. We meet at the LDS Church on Bell Road. Uh-huh. And every month we present a program, usually a speaker.
Every month?
Well, and then every month also we have a day study group on the second Friday of every month at the Loomis Library. And then we also have a DNA group that meets to discuss, and this has attracted a lot of new members because, of course, DNA and understanding DNA connections
Okay.
has been of great interest to people in the last several years.
Wow.
So and then we participate in Heritage Trail every year.
Okay. All right.
And we we work on preserving records, local records, and do lots
Wow.
of interesting things.
So if somebody's hearing this, do they just go to Genealogy Auburn, California, and you'll pop up? So
Well, placergenealogy.org.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's placergenealogy.org has all the information. And all of our meetings you can also attend by Zoom, and that information is on our website.
I think that the COVID opened up a lot of new ways to communicate. We didn't think so. Shut down means shut down, and I think in the moment that probably was true. But then I think our great minds go to work and we find really wonderful options. So can anybody come to the genealogy?
Yes, all of the meetings are open to the public.
Okay.
They're absolutely free of charge.
Okay. Okay.
And membership is simply $20 a year, and you get our wonderful newsletter if you become a member.
Wow. I
So,
love it.
yeah.
That's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, didn't know that one. That's really fun. I love talking to the people on this show. You find out so many wonderful things. So now the third one, history and preserving history. Now I'm pretty sure I'm correct. You're a docent for the museums as
Yes.
well, right?
I'm a museum docent.
Okay. And so one of your biggest, not museum docent, but the history thing going on right now. Tell us about your most grand passion, if you will, for double reasons, because she's a lawyer too.
She was
right?
a lawyer.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yes, we've spent almost the last 3 years researching Gussie Stewart. Gussie Stewart was the first woman attorney in Placer County.
I think that's great.
She passed the bar in 1915 and became a practicing lawyer. Unfortunately, the history books, for the most part, got her story wrong. And while they indicated she was a lawyer, they also indicated that she had not practiced law, which couldn't be further from the truth. She practiced law
Why would they say something like that? Do you know?
I don't know, because probably it was not as covered as closely then, but
Right.
if we researched her, and when we first heard about her, we knew nothing about her. And over the last 3 years, we've developed quite a bit of information, which we've documented in a new exhibit, which is currently at the Auburn City Hall, second floor. And the City Hall is open to the public Monday through Thursday during normal business hours.
Okay. See?
So we encourage that will be up until the end of April. And in that exhibit, we have documented both Gussie's story and also her husband, James Stewart. James Stewart came from a pioneer mining family in Gold Run. And together for 60 years, they were, we call them the Auburn power couple of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. They were involved in many, many community activities. And in fact, he was a consulting mining engineer for most of his career. And they had their offices together in the White House across from the courthouse.
Oh, okay, the White House building, yes.
Yes.
I love that building.
And if you come to our exhibit, we have the original sign that hung on the White House.
Oh.
It says James Stewart, mining engineer, Gussie Stewart, attorney at law.
Oh, that's cool.
And yes, so she had many legal accomplishments, and she also worked very hard in the community and was very active in advocating for laws for women.
Was she? Was that her kind of, I want to say specialty or not
Well,
really?
no, she practiced in many areas of the law, but
Okay.
she did make somewhat of a specialty in taking on some cases that maybe others weren't so interested in taking on.
Okay.
Cases of domestic abuse and child support and custody for women.
Gosh, you don't think of that stuff back in the 20s, 30s. At least
So it was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And according to the newspaper accounts at the time, she and her husband James fostered over 19 children.
Wow.
They were very active, both of them advocates for child welfare. So there's a lot to learn, and I really enjoy that part. I enjoy all of local history, But I really enjoy finding those people that we don't remember.
Don't know. No. Yeah.
So
yeah.
the crowning jewel with Gussie is that there is now a tile on Central Square.
Yes. Okay, let's back up a little bit. So downtown Auburn has these wonderful walkways, and they have squares. I call them diamonds. They're a square but curved, so they're a diamond, and of different people. And so Gussie has one now too.
She has one now.
Okay.
And she was noting that she was the first woman attorney, the first woman president of the County Bar Association.
Oh, wow.
And and a staunch advocate for women and children. So we're so pleased to have her memorialized.
You know,
in that
Diane, you
way.
did a lot of work on that project too. I think that really is your third passion.
Well, it was. But now we're going to go on and do something else.
Okay. Well, there's always something else around the
There's
bend.
always something else around the bend. Yes.
Yeah, and fostering 19 kids, that's pretty cool too. You kind of wonder where they all landed. Do you have any idea? Have you ever gone that far?
You know, we haven't quite gotten to that point of finding out where they were, although there were some when she died or when she was elderly, because she lived to be 87.
That's
so
nice.
So some of them did come to her 80th birthday party according to newspaper accounts. So yes, and every day it seems like we learn something new about her from someone in the community who comes forward and says, "Oh, we knew this about her."
Yeah, that's very special, and in conjunction not only with Gussie's story and the stuff going on now. Yesterday you had a big ceremony. Was it for the stone? Was it a ceremony for that?
Right. So this is last night we had a wonderful event at the City Hall where the exhibit was, and Judge Gazanaga of the Placer County Superior Court, whose mother Maureen, of course, is an AAUW member, and she is Judge Gazanaga, of course, is a role model in her own right.
Yes.
An illustrious prosecutor and now judge.
Yeah.
And she gave a wonderful speech about Gussie. And then we had two of our historical reenactors, and we recruited the past president of the County Bar Association, Heather Tiffey, to portray Gussie Stewart.
Oh, fun.
And they portrayed them at the event. It was really, really fun.
Oh.
But we do have another event coming. There is another event on April 24th.
Okay.
April 24th at the Visitor Center at Central Square. They're going to be having an event to celebrate the 5 new squares, including Gussie Stewart's, that were recently installed. And if you come, you may meet Gussie Stewart.
Are you going to dress up, Diane?
I might have to.
Well, I know as part of, I guess it's a part of all this, you're quite involved in the Historical Society and also of the docent at the museums. So I think that was a natural role for you to run into and process all these things. But let's talk about the museums a little bit. I think they're a hidden secret. And you know, to be honest, okay, I'm a sports nut, so you know, maybe history museums aren't my thing, but I always enjoy them, and I enjoy listening to people who are passionate about them. So I may not go out to everyone, but I love hearing about it. And I know don't you do the ghost tour, Diane? Aren't you part of the?
So I'm part of the cemetery tour.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So the Placer County Museums is amazing. What we have here in the county, it is probably a hidden treasure, like you say to many people. We have 8 museums. 8 museums. No other county in this state has 8 county-run museums. Now, some of the museums are only open between Memorial Day and Labor Day, including the Golden Drift Museum up in Dutch Flat, and the Forest Hill Museum. But many of our other museums are open year-round. Including, of course, the main museum at the Placer County Courthouse in Auburn, the Gold Rush Museum in Auburn, of course, the wonderful Bernhardt Museum, where they also do living history.
Oh, they do?
Over 2,000 children every year come and recreate life of a Victorian farmhouse at the Bernhardt on Auburn Folsom Road. And our latest museum is the Fruitvale Schoolhouse.
Yes. Where is that?
That's in Fruitvale. It's on the way to Lincoln.
Okay.
So, and that one we also have living history at now. So
Oh, fun.
yeah. And one of the hidden jewels is our second newest museum, which is the DeWitt Museum, which is at the DeWitt Center. Now, unfortunately, it's only open Wednesday afternoons from 1 to 4.
Okay.
But one thing that's wonderful about that museum is that it, unlike the other museums, it has its focus is on World War II era history because, of course, DeWitt was originally built as an Army
base.
hospital.
Was it the
Army hospital
Okay.
in World War II.
Okay.
And it also, the museum also includes coverage of when that site was a state hospital.
Yeah.
So that's a really wonderful museum, but you have to be able to get there on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, 1 to 4.
Yes.
Yeah. I understand the logistics of not having them all open all the time, but I hope they do something with the school's kids
Yes.
to that museum as well, because it's hard for people who are working or children to get to these if they're not open on the weekends or evenings or, and so it'd hopefully be that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
would be. And then also, I just wanted to mention too, walking tours. We do walking tours, and I'm a
Yes.
walking tour guide in Old Town Auburn.
She's fantastic.
Every Saturday, 10 a.m., rain or shine.
Really? It's
Yes.
every Saturday, Diane.
And no reservations
10
needed.
a.m.
You just show up at the courthouse at 10 o'clock,
Okay.
and that's really fun. And then, of course, the museums oversee Heritage Trail every summer, where all of the museums in Placer County participate with special activities every weekend.
Yeah, that's always fun. They have they always have the bookmarks. They tell you where to go, and that's always kind of fun. I like the.
Yep.
I'll put a shout out to Karen Blewell. She's always involved in that.
Yes.
So that's a beautiful. That's relates back to family and kids. It's really open to that kind of adventure, I think. So they get to know a little bit more about us. And so now tell me about the cemetery tour.
Yes.
I call it the ghost tour. I'm sorry. I was wrong.
The ghost tour is something separate. It's a wonderful thing, but it's not part of the museums.
Okay.
The cemetery tour is held since 2013 at the first Sunday in October every year. And in that tour, we have about 14 or 15 reenactors, people who are buried in the old Auburn Cemetery. Yes, Nevada. And is that Elm? Fullweiler.
Fullweiler.
Yeah. And it's a heck of a lot of fun. When you come in, you're given a map where the different reenactors are, and you can go around at your own pace and leisure and listen. They do about a 5-minute little talk at their graves.
Yeah.
And then the Native Sons of the Golden West, the Auburn Parlor, participates every year bringing out their restored hearse. And the Model A Club is always there with their cars. It's just a really fun event.
Okay.
And
do you need tickets for that,
No
Diane?
tickets. It's totally free. You just show up.
Nice.
And I've reenacted for 5 years.
Yeah, and I actually went on. I don't know that it was that day, but you did something special for our group and took us around. Very fun.
Yes, it's a really fun day, and it's appropriate for children.
And it's appropriate for October. So, but now, what's the difference? What you mentioned? I mentioned the ghost tour. What is that different from?
So the ghost tour is privately run, so it's
Okay.
not part of the county.
Okay, got
But
it.
a lot of the museum docents do participate in the ghost tour.
Okay.
And the ghost tour proprietors generously donate a portion of the proceeds every year to the Placer County Museum's Docent Guild. And the Docent Guild is comprised of the docents, and we use our money that we raise through the ghost tour and other our dues and everything else we do to support the museums.
Yeah.
So, for example, we've supported purchasing new Christmas decorations for the Bernhardt Museum, refreshments for events that they might have during Heritage Trail, and other things.
Okay.
Support various exhibits that might come up.
Well,
So, yeah, it's a really worthy cause, and the ghost tour is so popular.
it's just fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
But we're going to add the cemetery tour
Oh, yes,
to make it more
definitely.
popular too. But
Okay.
it's just it's a one-day
Well,
event.
yeah,
so,
we get several hundred people. Come
Yeah,
out for
I
the
bet you do.
Cemetery tour.
Yeah, and that's when. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. But what a treasure you are!
Oh,
So involved in our community history, and always been supportive of AAUW as well. But I love that. I love it. So I also, real quick, I want to mention the new board member was taken from the Historical Society, Kim
Haswell.
Haswell. She's from the Historical Society and is now going to be.
She was just appointed to the Historic Design Review Commission for the city.
It's 9 people or something, taken some from the. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Fun.
She was at our event last night. Kim
Okay,
was,
good.
yes.
All right, that's so nice. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining Diane and I today. I want to thank you, Diane. You really are a hidden treasure.
Oh my goodness.
And we're
so
gonna,
much fun.
it's what a background. It's really lovely. I want to leave you all with, I don't remember. My notes are sketchy sometimes. But there's a TV show. Phil's laughing at me. Phil, did I talk about Ted Lasso last time? No. I don't think I did. It's in my notes, so I couldn't remember. Ted Lasso is a TV show. It was on probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's 3 seasons. It's on Apple TV, so maybe not everybody can get it. But I really recommend this little show. It's some of the language is off-putting. You might not like that until you get kind of used to it a little bit. But it's just a heartwarming story. So I throw that out. The other thing, I want you all to have a happy St. Patrick's Day. That's coming up. A happy spring, happy Lent season. It's a wonderful time of year, even though our gloomy weather today doesn't always say that, but it'll bring all the flowers out very soon. So take care of one another, be kind, and thanks for visiting with us. Thanks, Diane.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.